Since SpaceX first hit the NASDAQ, including extended hours, it's traded as high as $229.85 and as low as $124.51 at the time of recording this video. In other words, the stock has went to the moon and back before Elon did. And now the news is changing its tune since it's obvious that the stock is coming down. So now they're not trying to get you to buy it. They're trying to stop you from selling it and hold on to it for 10 years before you realize, hey, I think I made a bad investment. Look at this clip.
The most hyped IPO in the history of American capital markets is now a broken stock. And that warrants being a problem to a broader market riding high on AI euphoria. SpaceX shares fell for its fourth straight session on Wednesday, briefly dipping below their $135 IPO price for the first time since the company raised a record $86 billion in its blockbuster NASDAQ debut last month. What makes this especially uncomfortable timing is twofold. One, SpaceX has its 13th Starship test flight scheduled for later today, a moment that should be generating the kind of headline-grabbing excitement that sends the stock higher. Instead, the market is yawning, which is about the worst possible signal you can send when you're a company whose entire valuation is built on the promise of an audacious, expensive, long-term vision that requires investors to believe unconditionally in what you are building. Has this shaken your confidence in the company at all?
No, it hasn't, Brian. And while Inez is right, I believe it will go well and it is critical. I do think that this is a stock you're buying for the next 3 to 5 to 10 years.
Who gives a range with 3 numbers? I do believe this is a stock you buying for the next 3, 5, 10 years. Ain't that 3 to 10 years? Man, listen, these people really think we are that stupid. They do not call us dumb money for no reason. They really think we that stupid. When all we got to do is our own research and look it up for ourselves, and we gonna do that. But just continue listening to this craziness. We just gonna keep listening to this craziness, and then we gonna break this all down. Oh.
For the next 3 to 5 to 10 years. I think it is a bet on Elon, and that's been a pretty good bet in the past.
What would get you more concerned with that longer term bullishness you're talking about? Would something like, let's say, Starship comes out today and that launch doesn't go as expected, do you overlook that and still look out 3 to 5 years, or would that be a point you say, you know what, maybe the market's onto something here?
Well, the market's always right, Brian? So I think we're looking at this as a stock. It has parallels to the Meta IPO, but in our view, it's analogous to Amazon, which was a company that changed the way we lived. It's had very long periods of underperformance, but if you've owned it since the IPO, you're up 243,000%.
All right, guys, time to do some research behind this craziness. All right, so buckle up. What was Amazon's IPO price and valuation at that time, before it hit the market? Amazon's initial public offering took place on May 15, 1997. IPO price was $18 per share. Pre-market valuation was $438 million based on that final $18 price tag, okay? Was Amazon profitable when it IPO'd? It was late. I was asking questions fast. No, Amazon was not profitable when it went public. You can read all that if you want to, but here's the point. SpaceX is not profitable. We still don't know if it's profitable. It definitely wasn't profitable when it IPO'd. And they value SpaceX at $1.79 trillion, knowing that the company was not profitable. She compared SpaceX to Amazon. So we're going to check that comparison for ourselves. So Amazon was not profitable either. So what did they value them at? We just looked at it. They valued them at $438 million, not over $1 trillion. But the company wasn't valued over $1 billion. It was closer to $500 million at $18 a share, correct? Yes, you are exactly right. Amazon was not valued at over $1 billion at the time of its IPO, even when the stock started trading on the secondary market on May 15, 1997, and closed its first day at $23.50. The market capitalization only rose around $561 million. It took more time and significant market growth before Amazon crossed the 1 billion valuation mark. Guys, here's the key part I want you to pay attention to, okay? It took more time and significant market growth before Amazon crossed the 1 billion valuation mark. Okay? This is something that they did not give SpaceX. What I think they did is that they actually valued the company based on what they thought it would be worth 10 to 15 years from now. Like if you compared their IPO prices when they first IPO'd, how much more was SpaceX value compared to Amazon? That's another way to ask it. The difference is massive, okay? SpaceX current valuation is 1.75 trillion and Amazon's IPO valuation was 438 million. Guys, look at the difference in the commas. SpaceX has 4 commas in it. Amazon's valuation only has 2. Guys, that's a huge difference if you ever seen trillion written out before, okay? SpaceX is valued roughly 1.749 trillion more than Amazon was at its IPO. Put another way, the valuation of SpaceX today is more than 4,000 times larger than Amazon's baseline valuation when it first hit the market in 1997. It was late when I started shooting this video and I don't have no patience for AI sometimes. So I said, give me a percentage and stop playing with me. And you see, it told me in the attitude, it's going to italicize SpaceX ticker. But anyway, SpaceX is 399,443% higher than Amazon's IPO valuation. In other words, it is roughly 400,000% of Amazon's initial market value. Guys, please wrap your head around this, because now that we looked at the numbers for ourselves, we can see that this is doggone ridiculous. Okay? So they came out with this crazy overvaluation, right? Now today they were supposed to have a launch and it was aborted. So let's read that. SpaceX had a last second launch abort last night during its first major test flight attempt since going public. So the first flight they tried to do after going public didn't work out right. And here's what Elon said. Elon Musk confirmed on X that the safety abort systems worked exactly as intended to prevent a catastrophic pad failure. Check this out. So this is like somebody saying, I know the car didn't start, but the airbags and the seatbelt work fine. Man, stop letting these people play with you is what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. Stop letting these people play with you. Please. They ain't doing nothing. That's why they call us dumb money. They will insult our intelligence all the time. Someone said if you bought Amazon at the IPO price, you'd be up 243,000%. Is that accurate? That 243,000% figure is actually outdated. So she didn't even give you the right number or not up to date. Math breakdown. Because of Amazon's historical stock splits, every single share purchased at the $18 IPO price has multiplied into 240 shares today. Split adjusted IPO cost, current stock price, actual total return, 327,900%. Okay, so if you had just invested $1,000 at the IPO, you wouldn't just be up 243,000%. Your investment would be worth roughly $3.28 million today. To match that 327,900% return from its $150 IPO price, SpaceX stock would need to increase by $491,850 per share. So what would the actual valuation of SpaceX be then? Because if they IPO'd it at 1.79 trillion, how much would it grow to match that valuation with the stock increasing to match what she said about Amazon. If SpaceX stock hit $492,000 per share to match Amazon's lifetime percentage gains, the total valuation of the company would become 6.45 quadrillion. We're still in the trillions for the highest valuation of companies. We haven't even made it to the quadrillion yet. To put that number into perspective, that is roughly 65 times larger than the annual economic output, GDP of the entire planet. Are you kidding me? Guys, listen, I'm just trying to get you to see. I really want us to shake this whole being called dumb money, because they honestly believe that we're not going to look these numbers up for ourselves. They believe this, and I actually got a clip from an interview to prove this. So check this out.
So what do the numbers show, just in terms of where the ad dollars are going?
Well, I mean, in the last quarter, we reported 25% growth. That's year-on-year comps that were also 20 to 30%, where their comps were -4%, -5%. So the open internet is growing much faster than what we call the walled gardens.
When you say we, who are you talking about?
So the trade desk and the open internet. So we're growing much faster than those walled gardens.
What base number? I'm just talking about growing 25% is easy to do when you have small numbers.
Yeah.
Some of the ad dollars are pretty big numbers when you're talking about Meta and other places.
Agreed, but -4%, negative is negative.
Okay, but what kind of growth are we talking? What numbers, base numbers?
Well,
25% on what?
Well, I mean, anybody can look at our earnings. You can look at.
Okay, then tell me.
Well, I'm not going to go into the specific numbers today, but
why? If anybody can look it up, just tell me. What are we talking about numbers?
Guys, it's not a secret. Smart money, people that really understand how this game works, knows that the average person isn't going to look this stuff up themselves. They're not going to do the work. This is why the average person makes financial decisions by following headlines, analysts, friends, and family, instead of educating themselves or hiring a licensed financial advisor. All these publicly traded companies have to do is disclose their financials on the SEC website, and they are covered. So don't be one of the people that smart money makes a fool of and considers dumb. Educate yourself, do the work, and make better decisions. You already know. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me in this video. If you haven't done so already, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks in advance. I appreciate you. And make sure you keep tuning in weekdays following a market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Take care and God bless.